One of the biggest issues that you will encounter when doing profit crafting is going to be the time it takes for an item to sell. There are many crafts out there that are very profitable, but at the same time they're very painful just because it takes too long to see a return on your investment. So hopefully after watching this video you will know how to actually search for items that sell fast and are profitable. What you need to understand about items that sell fast, they follow they fall into these three categories: cluster jewels, items that are severely underpriced, but since you are crafting for profit, you will know the market to some extent, such that you will not underprice your items. And also the items, which is the most important one, which is the most important category, items that offer a meaningful upgrade. This can depend from build to build, but in general, the items that offer such a meaningful upgrade would be the weapon and the offhand and the amulet. In some builds it can be the gloves, in some other builds it can be the helmet. For example, for the Righteous Fire, that helmet is probably one of the most important upgrades you can make to the build. But for my build, a helmet is not that important. But a shield for sure is, the amulet is, definitely, and the wand as well, the weapon, it's also very important. This is why at League Start I prioritize the wand, the amulet and the shield to have them. And now let's show you how to figure out how to find those items. So you go to PoE Ninja, let's go to builds. I like to search for items that have Mage Blood. You can definitely uncheck the Mage Blood, but this is how I personally like to do it. And I would look at a bunch of different builds right here. So for example, you can start with the most popular one, but I would just select Spark, for example. And here I would sort for DPS. At this point, I would look on the left side and see what uniques they're using. So I see that they're using Ashes of the Stars, so I'm probably not going to craft an amulet. I'm also not going to craft a shield. I'm not going to craft a weapon as well because they're using Nebulous. So let's see what they have. Maybe they have gloves, maybe they have body armor, maybe they have helmet. So let's see. So I definitely see a mirrored pair of gloves. So this may be something that it's worth looking into. Let's see. So probably the body armor and the helmet. But since this is mirrored, this is probably too expensive. I would look at something cheaper. At this point, what I'm doing, I'm opening a bunch of these tabs and I'm looking for similarities. So what I'm seeing at this in this build, he's mirrored the helmet and the gloves. So for this build, I would definitely look into how to craft a helmet similar to this one that is in the price range of 10 to maybe 30 divines, and also similar for the gloves. So I would probably look at some builds that have much lower DPS because these guys are not using mirrored items most likely. So I would look at how expensive it would be to craft a helmet like this. But before we go into that, I would open the trade website. I would search for a helmet similar to this one with the same enchant, and I would see how many of them are available on the market, the prices that they sell for, and when were they listed. If they sell for 50 divines and there are 10 of them listed up to 2 days ago, sure, I would go and craft it even if it goes above that 30 divines mark. But if there are only 2 of these listed on the trade website and they're probably worth like 200 divines and they're sitting there for like 2 weeks, I would not consider it. The same thing goes for the gloves. I would look for gloves once again in a similar price range, above 30 divines, give or take a few divines, and that are listed. I need to see that there are a few gloves listed up to 5 days, let's just say, because if they are listed for more than 5 days, probably there are not enough people buying them. So this is basically what I would do. I would also check the cluster jewels. Maybe these are worth selling. Then after I figure out, hey, this is an item, it offers a meaningful upgrade. On the trade website, they don't stay for too long, so chances are they sell fast. I would look into the crafting process and then do the math and see if it's actually worth crafting. Because if you are only going to make like 1 divine profit, and to craft an item like this would take you 15 minutes, it's not worth doing. But if you make like 5 divines and it takes you like 10 minutes to craft or 15 minutes to craft, it's okay, because even 20 divines an hour, it's still a good craft. So this is something that I would consider. Keep in mind that price range. 10, 30 divines, maybe 50 in some extreme cases, but I would just try to keep it in that 10, 30 divines, maybe 20 divines. So stay away from crafting rings, belts, boots, and also this league, because it's crucible, I would stay away from crafting shields and weapons as well, just simply because they're dependent on the crucible tree. But if you're seeing this video in another league, in general, it's worth crafting offhands and weapons. So this is how you find profitable crafts that tend to sell relatively quick.